And so as we are sitting for this mindfulness meditation practice, I would usually encourage you to sit, cause lying down can, make you fall asleep quite easily. So really the purpose and the invitation is to be as awake and alert as possible so that you can allow the mind to learn how to, sit with through difficulties or through things that may irritate us, because what we're doing is cultivating resilience. And that's really one of the intentions of mindfulness. So continuing on the series about with Sharon Salzburg's book, Real Happiness, I just want to turn to this chapter. If you have the opportunity, you could go check out in the local library if you have that book, or maybe there's an e-book out in the, if you Google search for it. So she has this chapter here called Letting Go of Thoughts, and that's going to be the basis of our meditation this evening. So she starts off by writing that Michelangelo was once asked, the painter, how he would carve an elephant. And this was his reply: I will take a large piece of stone and take away everything that was not the elephant. And so here we are when we are practicing awareness, attention, mindfulness during a meditation. It's akin to learning how to recognize what is not the elephant. So it means letting go of what is non-essential, not essential, and what is distracting. And what is distracting is often the thoughts. Thoughts steal our attention away. Then they bring us down a story path. And so when a thought arises in the form of a memory, a plan, a to-do list, a comparison, a fantasy or dream, we learn to let go of it. Now you might think that what is wrong with thoughts? And because thoughts can bring us down a spiral quite easily, the point is to be discerning and to be mindful where we are going with these thoughts, especially the not so helpful ones. And so without delay, so let's just start the practice. So getting into a posture that's comfortable. And it may seem strange initially to sit upright, but really this would be the encouragement. Because over time, you may find that it really helps to let you kind of stay awake and being very dignified and honoring the moments, the present moments as we sit. There is a choice whether you want to keep your eyes closed or just leaving them open. So it's really up to you. And midway, even you decide to close the eyes or open them, it's fine. Most importantly is taking care of yourself, making the choice to be comfortable. So allowing the mind to just be in the present moment, noticing, observing what's around you, what's within you, perhaps checking for moods, for any physical sensations, perhaps an ache, soreness, or fullness, maybe perhaps after a meal, or a heavy chest, or maybe lightness. Simply acknowledging, accepting what's here, even if it does not feel comfortable, or if you feel strange. So this practice is whenever a thought arises, we do as best as we can letting it go, meaning not entertaining it further, not adding more thoughts, not speculating on those thoughts, judging those thoughts, not needing to react towards those thoughts. Just let them go. There's a thought, and then off you go. And if anger arises, or self-judgment, or eager anticipation, of something that you're going to be doing tonight, perhaps a nice supper. You simply just acknowledge that impulse or that feeling. You just let it be. Returning to the object of our focus. And here we can choose to focus on the breath. The whole of the mind, resting its awareness on the breath. As you're breathing in, then breathing out. So when a thought arises, or a feeling, we let it be. And it's not because we want to get rid of it, or we cannot bear to acknowledge it. We want to avoid it. But rather it is about that this thought is unnecessary, because the practice is about letting go. Letting go of what's not necessary. And instead focusing on the breath. So centering the attention on the feeling of the in and out breath. Perhaps starting at the nostrils, chest, or abdomen. Just a normal, natural breath. As you're feeling the sensations of the breath, make a very quiet mental note of breath. Breath with both the in-breath and the out-breath. And when a thought arises that's strong enough to take your attention away from the breath, simply note it as not breath. Even if it is the most compelling thought, a very important thought about work or family, or the most beautiful thought in the world, or the most terrible, it's simply not breath. It is not the elephant. Let it go. And directing the attention back to the breath. And it usually may help sitting as still as possible, just allowing the body to breathe, allowing the body to move along with the breath. But for the rest of it, the hands, the legs, perhaps staying still, conserving the energy. The invitation is not to judge yourself for having thoughts. Neither do you have to get lost in making up a story about what triggered the thought, or what action you need to take to stop thinking. All you have to do is to recognize that thought, all thoughts are not the breath. Some of the thoughts may be tender and caring. Some may be cruel and hurtful. Some may be boring and banal. All that matters is that they are not the breath. Just noticing them, thoughts, letting go by not feeding it, and bringing your attention back to the feeling of the breath. The habitual tendency is either to grab onto a thought, perhaps build a complicated scenario around it, or to justify it, or saying, "Oh, these are the things I need to do to fix that." In any meditations, we encounter thoughts, and just allow that space between thoughts and us. And we recognize it's not the breath, and very gently returning the attention to what is the breath, the feeling of the breath. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, at any points of the practice, you feel very uncomfortable, or there's some very uncomfortable thoughts, very distracting thoughts coming through. Just doing your best, perhaps maybe opening the eyes for a moment, shifting the posture mindfully, or just bringing the whole attention back to the breath, resting on the action of breathing. Nothing more, nothing less. And so when we are letting go of thoughts that are usually not helpful, not very productive, we learn to cultivate focus, resilience on what really matters. And we start to be more discerning on what we need to act on or what we can disregard. And with this, allow me to read this poem to you called Growth by Madison, Greene. How could I love myself and hate the memories that have molded me? My roots are planted deep beneath the earth, but petal by petal I am growing. Making peace with my past, it hurts to stretch this much. But I have learned that I was made for more than just unraveling. And look at how far I've come and how much I've survived. I've learned to love my dark parts, if no one else will. I've learned how to walk fearlessly through the fires I face. even if they burn me. And so just sending some well wishes to yourself. May I stay mindful and kind in deeds and words after this practice. And wishing the others on this Zoom space, may you be kind and wise in your words and deeds in the next few moments of the evening or night. And so with that, opening the eyes when you're ready. So if you wish to sit, continue sitting, feel free to do so. I'll be logging out. So I'll see you again next week, same time,